welcome back to my channel. My name is Live. I'm a knitter from Norway, and today I thought we would film another episode of my podcast where I talk about my finished objects, some whips that I have, and maybe some of my future knitting plans, but they change all the freaking time. So in this podcast we always start with what are my finished objects, and I don't think this was a finished object the last time. It was a work in progress. So this is the Casual Friday Chunky Cardigan by Skappelxhelenemoo, and it's knitted in their fluffy mohair in the color 165, and the buttons are also from the same store. It's a pretty basic cardigan with a top-down construction, and you start at the back panel, knit the back panel, knit each front panel, then join and knit back and forth for the body. There's a 1x1 rib at both the body and the sleeves, and there's a 1x1 rib for the neck. There's a double knitted button band edge, or whatever you call it, for the button bands, which makes it a pretty neat detail. I'm all about those neat details lately to make it a little bit extra. So I'm pretty freaking obsessed with my color choice. I love this deep red, and I feel like it's super popular as well at the moment. I try to make pieces that I know I will, love for many years to come, and this color is definitely a color that suits me pretty well as well, I think. So I think I will love this for many years to come, and I'm super happy with how it turned out. It's knitted on 6mm needles, and it's a pretty quick knit. The only thing is that I'm used to knitting with 8mm needles with this type of yarn, so for me it was kind of it was a longer process than I anticipated, but So my next finished object wasn't even started in the last podcast. It was a project that I wanted to knit, and the last time I said some of these are probably gonna change, but this one I just had to have ASAP, and it's also a pretty quick knit on 9mm needles. So I just started on a Friday evening, and I think I finished it the Saturday after, so I think I knitted it in about 7 or 8 days. And it's the Clara sweater by a girl called Skappelxhelenemoo, which is a Norwegian knitwear designer, or she releases pattern, or used to. I don't know if she's actively designing anymore, but yeah. This is a super chunky knit, in my opinion. It's double-stranded on 9mm needles. I've held the hand-dyed mohair that I dyed myself together with Peruvian Highland wool. I think this will be perfect for spring here in Norway. It's such a fun color to wear, and I really like wearing pink, and I think pink is one of my favorite colors to wear. And it has a half-twisted rib, and it's knitted top-down raglan construction with pretty short body, so this is not suited for low-waisted pants. I think I will have to wear a high-waisted pant or a skirt or dress with this one, but it's super adorable. Yeah, the only thing is I think I was a bit too excited to cast it off, so I think I could have made it a little bit longer in both the body and the sleeves. I made it accordingly to the measurements that are given in the pattern, but I'm a tall girl, so I should have made it a little bit longer. But I really like the neck, and I think it will be cute over skirt and high-waisted pants and maybe a dress. It's a pretty thick sweater, so this will be like, instead of wearing a jacket, I will wear this for spring and probably early summer as well here in Norway. Maybe summer evenings, yes, over a dress in the summer evening. This will be gorgeous. Actually, we just need to take a moment that I made this, or I didn't make the yarn, but I hand dyed it myself, and I'm so proud of myself for doing that. Even though I got a lot of help from Catherine, I still am obsessed. Okay, the next finished object wasn't even a whip the last time as well. I thought that my needles were moving super slow these days, but actually they're kind of moving at a very high speed when I see how much I've gotten done since the last podcast. The next finished object was a planned project the last time, I think. I don't think I casted this on when I filmed the last time. No. This is the balaclava. I don't know. It's a Norwegian designer called Ingrid, and this is also a test knit. So I test knitted this balaclava scarf, and I have not blocked it. I really need to get blocking pins and a blocking mat, but I don't know what I'm looking for when buying a knitting mat and pins. So if you have any tips on buying blocking pins and mats, please leave them down below, because I'm a little lost. But this is a bonnet and a scarf situation. These are really popular this season, I think. I've been seeing them all over Pinterest and Instagram and TikTok, and yeah. This is a pretty easy construction. You knit the hood part firstly, and then you just start at one edge of the scarf and knit all the way until desired length, and then you connect the scarf and knit the connect the hood and knit the scarf at the same time, and then you just knit the other edge of the scarf. So it's a pretty easy knit. It is a bit time consuming because it's a 2x2 rib on 4mm needles, and it's a long scarf. So it took me about, like, I would say 4 or 5 days with like intense knitting. I'm not super quick with ribbing as well though. I decided to knit, I think it's called the Norwegian way of purling when I knitted this, because I wanted my purling or my double rib to be super neat and perfect. And normally my ribbing isn't like super neat, but since gray is kind of a telling color, I decided to do this new method of purling for me. So I think that slowed me down as well, but I'm super happy that I did this new method for me, because the ribbing turned out kind of good. Like, this is neat. This ribbing is neat, and normally I don't get this neat of ribbing, and normally I just, you know, go with the flow and figure out how to make it neat with blocking or anything like that. It's pretty easy to get half-twisted rib neat like this. This looks super neat in my opinion. It's half-twisted rib, and it's a secure way to get a neat ribbing. The 1x1 ribbing on this, I didn't use my new method of purling, and it's not bad, but it's not like super neat either. And with mohair, all the flaws just aren't as visible as with merino yarns. And this yarn is 75% merino and 25% angora. Super soft, it almost feels like cashmere in my opinion, but I don't think it's as expensive as a cashmere. That was all of my finished objects, and if it hadn't been for this podcast, I would have walked around with a mindset of my needles being super slow, but I actually see now that my needles are moving super fast and I'm getting so much knitting done, and I'm really enjoying the process, and I'm also really enjoying making these podcasts. This was a whip in the last podcast as well, but I can give you guys a quick update. I am filming a project vlog for this one, so there's a longer video with all the details coming on this one, but I can give you guys a quick little update. I am done with the body according to the pattern, but since I'm a tall girl, I think I will bite the apple and knit it a bit longer just to make sure that it fits me perfectly. The strange thing about knitting from the bottom up is that I have no clue how long the raglan will be. I know the raglan is supposed to be X amount of times and X amount of rows, but I still am a little bit unsure about how long this will look on me once it's done if I follow the pattern. This just looks super short in my opinion for a body, but it's probably not. I don't know, I just get anxiety that it will be too short since I'm knitting it bottom up, and it will be a lot of frogging if I make a mistake on the length. Anyways, I finished the body and one sleeve according to the pattern, but this sleeve also looks super short in my opinion. Like if I were to, I like my sleeves to be like at this start of my hand here. Are you telling me that the raglan is going to cover this? I don't think so. I don't know, but I don't think so. I'm a bit unsure. So I really want to knit the sleeves longer, but just to like procrastinate that decision, I've started the second sleeve. I've barely started the ribbing. I'm doing the ribbing with a magic loop and then moving on to the pattern part of the colorwork part of the sleeve. I'm doing it on 40 centimeters needles. I don't know if people call that shorties. I'm not like super into knitting language when it comes to English. But shorties or 40 centimeters, yeah. It's really common to use 40 centimeter knitting needles in Norway. I don't know if that's the case all around the world. Yeah, so that's a little whip update on this one, and more like in deeper, because I have a lot of opinions about this project. So more details in a project vlog. This was definitely not a work in progress the last time, and I've made so much progress since we last talked. And if you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen this, but I'm freaking obsessed with the color. It's like next to this plant green, it looks kind of washed out, but in reality it's this super gorgeous green color. It's called matcha green, and it's in Sunday and thin silk mohair, both by Scandistitches, and they're kindly gifted to me. So this is a gifted knit, and I am actually an ambassador for Scandistitches. So if you see a lot of Scandistitches in my feed, that's why. But I freaking love their yarns, so of course I said yes to be an ambassador. But this is the most gorgeous knitted sweater. Like the shoulder construction, I've done it one time before with my boyfriend's sweater. I really don't know what this shoulder construction is called, but it's while you're doing the German short rows, you're adding stitches for the shoulders as well. But this is just a simple top-down sweater with super dropped shoulders, and it has a 2x2 rib with a turtleneck, and I think it's supposed to be a little long. Yeah, I need to figure out how long I want it to be. Probably not as long as in the model, because the model are like, it looks almost like a dress, and I don't want a super long sweater for spring. Get this done. So I'm trying to I'm trying to speed run this project, but it's impossible to speed run a project on 3.5mm needles. But yesterday I took the train to Oslo, or capital in Norway, and it takes about 2 hours on the train each way, so 4 hours on the train, and also doing some knitting while I was in the city on cafes and the library, etc. I had a lot of spare time, and this was how far I got yesterday. I'm pretty, like, looking at it now, I'm pretty happy with my progress. And I also do want to enjoy like every stitch. I don't want it to be like, I need to get this done. I don't want anything stressful around my knitting. I'm trying to be mindful about my knitting, and it's supposed to be a fun and relaxing time for me, not like anything stress related. I don't think I said what the sweater is called. The sweater is called Mindy sweater, and it's a pattern by Scandistitches as well, and it's a part of their new DIY collection that launched in February or January, don't remember, but it's out now, so you can see the whole booklet on Scandistitches website and probably in your local yarn shop as well. I am obsessed. So the last project on my needles wasn't something that I planned to knit, and I feel like with test knits there's often a like, you don't necessarily plan to knit that because it's a test knit, so you've probably never seen the pattern before. So this was kind of a just not rushed decision, because I always make sure that the test knit is something I want to knit, that I have time to knit it, that it's a like manageable project for me, that I'm comfortable with giving details, and not details but feedback on this pattern. But Maria, aka Ullen Knitwear on, I think she's called Maria and her last name on Instagram now, and not Ullen Knitwear, but I think her website is still Ullen Knitwear. But she's releasing a new sweater pattern in the spring. Don't know the release date yet, but this is a zipper sweater. It's a zipper version of her birch. Is that how you pronounce it? Birch sweater. And it's I chose the color white because I want it to be a super timeless piece, and I have a white zipper sweater from Petite Knit already, but that's like my hiking sweater. It's super fitted, and this, like the birch sweater, is a super oversized sweater, and this will be super oversized as well. I'm knitting this in Lynx number 4, which is a 100% fine organic merino wool, and holding it together with their silk mohair. And the sweater combination is super fluffy and soft. Their mohair is actually so fluffy. Since it's a test knit, I am trying to focus on this project. Maria, I am saying Maria in English, but it's Maria in Norwegian. Anyways, Maria is super kind about her test knits and don't want it to be a stressful experience. So she hasn't given me a deadline as of now. So I am not trying to stress about it, because I always get stressed about deadlines in test knits. Even though she hasn't given me a deadline, I still want to give her feedback and try out the pattern before she releases it. So I am trying to focus like mainly on this project, but at the same time it's a oversized sweater on 4mm needles, and it will take some time to finish it, so I just have to have that mindset and not like get burned out from knitting it. And also I see that my purling when I'm stressed is not as good as my purling when I'm relaxed, if that makes any sense. You can see these kind of stripes some places. That's because I don't tension the purling and knitting the same when I'm stressed. I don't normally have this problem. I know some people accommodate for this problem with having different needle size on the purling and the knit side. I think it's not super noticeable, and I think hopefully blocking will fix this, but I just want to show you that there is some stripes happening due to inconsistency in my gauge. I want to say I don't mind it, but I'm kind of a perfectionist, so I do mind it, and I hope blocking will fix it. But I was back here, I was super stressed about the whole sweater and the whole test knit. There's a leaf blower outside, and I think it's like right outside my window now, so I don't think it's a super wise decision to film this, but it is what it is. I think we need to establish a yarn bank, because I bought some more yarns even though I have so much planned project. I went to my hometown Bergen, and right outside Bergen there is a local mill called Hillesvåg, and I knew I wanted a sweater quantity and also some sock yarn going to the mill. So I decided to pick up a sweater quantity of their, it's not lace weight, I think it's more of a DK weight. It's 200 meters on 100 gram, and it's a Norwegian lamb's wool, and this is their unbleached white color. And I think I want to make the Freya sweater by Ingrid Dibb, but that's a sweater that needs to like have my full attention. And I made the Moby sweater last summer, so maybe I will have time to make this cabled sweater this summer. So like one huge cabled sweater a year is a good goal of mine, I think. And I also wanted to try out their new sock yarn called Tundra, I think. I'm just going to have a look at the label. It's called Tundra sock yarn, and this is their burgundy color. It's a beautiful red color, kind of similar to the cardigan that I just finished. And I actually forgot that this was a work in progress. But I started, this has so much mohair on, it's crazy. I started the Tuva Sandok sock in chunky or thick, or I don't know what, I don't remember exactly the name, but I started the sock pattern and I made a mistake on the heel, so I just gave up. And yeah, so this is not an active whip, this is something I have to frog back literally, I think it's 8 or 6 rows. Yeah, 6 rows I need to frog back, but I don't have it in me to frog anything ever. So this is not an active whip, but I bought the yarn in Bergen and I casted this on also in Bergen. I just put it aside because I don't want to knit socks, it's summer, etc. This will be a on-the-go project at some point, because it's really nice to have a small project when you're traveling. So sometime in the future I will have this on my needles or finish it. But as of now I'm really happy with the color, and the tuva sandok pattern is also a pretty easy, and I actually like the heel construction of the tuva sandok pattern. I just made a counting mistake or something, I don't know. I was super tired when I made the sock, so I need to go back and figure out my mistake. And lastly, Sonnes Garn released their summer collection and asked if I wanted to knit anything from their collection, and I of course said yes, because I need more summer pieces in my wardrobe, so this was the perfect occasion to plan some summer project. And when I got a peek at the collection, I saw this set, which was insane. Look at this skirt. It's gorgeous. I want it, I need it in my wardrobe, but I don't have the knitting stamina. I don't have the knitting not confidence, but like I don't have it in me to knit this big of a piece for summer right now. So I decided to knit the, let me see, rose top instead. It's a all over moss stitch top, and it looks kind of cool. Like the front is pretty basic, but the back, baby. The back is what caught my eye, because I saw this picture on Pinterest and I knew I had to recreate it, but I am recreating it in a lime punch color. This rose top is knitted on 4.5mm needles, and it's knitted with mandarin petite held double. That was all for today's episode, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you've been knitting or crocheting this whole time, I would love to know what you've been making down below. And if you have any questions about anything, feel free to ask them down below or send me a DM on either TikTok or Instagram. I post quite frequently over there as well, and can't wait to see you guys in about 1 month. Have a lovely day. Thank you so much for watching, and bye!